Welcome back to Here with Goldberg. Today I wanted to discuss another example of the suppository red pillars embracing what is effectively pseudoscience in order to make a point vis-a-vis oftentimes, the liberals or the feminists. And this is a problem where if you hear something and you don't investigate it further, you can go around being exceptionally ignorant because you're just not curious. So when it comes to Pound Me Too, a very typical response would be for a red pillar to go, "Oh, come on, don't you see how animals do it? There's no consent in nature." See, again, you have to look a little bit deeper into things. And I think this is a good illustration of how human beings have a complicated relationship with their nature. On the one hand, we're comfortable with being appointed by God over the animals and superior to them in our own minds. So if you take a cat or a dog and fix them, and obviously they're not consenting to that, no one really cares. But if you were to say a human male or female should be forcibly spayed or neutered, regardless of what arguments might be in support of it, which could be logical in some cases, oh my God, liberal democracy, human rights, all that jazz. At the same time, if a human being wants to justify some sort of sexual behavior, such as we're not monogamous, or in this case, consent, they will try to claim we're animals, come on, it's natural, that sort of thing. And just so that you don't think I'm taking this out of nowhere, here's a tweet from Mike Cernovich. And it's interesting, for a long time he was promoting himself as a provocative alpha male, which I always thought was a joke because he basically walked away with a big divorce settlement, wrote a successful online book, which I respect him for, and then the next thing he did when he was riding high on his success is to get married. And you're like, why would you do that if you're an alpha male? Because you're probably not. So we'll see how his marriage turns out. But I think he's had positive contributions politically and in terms of journalism. But this is a since deleted tweet that he made in September of 2013. Do a Google search for lions mating. That's basically rape, and it's also the natural form of sex. So, again, if you don't look into things and you assume that animals are all these simplistic, primal beings, you can miss a lot, because the research that's been coming out actually shows animal societies are extraordinarily complex, even at the level of insects. And that's what we're going to talk about. A couple of good books, I'm going to link to them. The Great Book of Deadly Animals and also Wildhood. Those are worth checking out, especially the latter if you want more insights into this. But this is various species, so we are starting to understand we're not the only ones with complex and inconvenient social obstacles, especially when it comes to mating and dating. We have examples of animal celibacy. Yeah, imagine that. Older beasts blocking intercourse for younger ones. So this is something with yellow baboons and I believe also meerkats. Young females will get intimidated or even physically abused by older ones if they attempt to have sex with younger males. In some cases, this leads to temporary infertility or miscarriages. This is crazy stuff when you think about it. And in a wolf pack, and this is another thing, when they tell you you got to be like an alpha male wolf. In wolf packs, the way that you rise up in the social strata is not necessarily confronting the alpha male head on. If you take him out when he's tired or he's sick, you can elevate yourself. This is why they've seen with domesticated dogs, sometimes they attack the older relative in the house or the young child in order to communicate. It's theorized, my position, you're not respecting me, I want to get more attention. Okay? With the wolf pack, going back to that, they say that this is the idea that pheromones in urine, so paging all those alpha male PUA types, may block the drive of subordinate males and females. Just think about that, right? That system's far more complex than you just go out and do whatever you want. Borneo orangutans, only one male has mating privilege is at a particular time. That could be an older male. So the young, hot, Chad boy doesn't really matter. You have to wait for your turn, or you have to find a way to overthrow him. Moving forward here, also discussing pheromones. Oh, flies. Flies just they just swim in feces. They don't have anything. No, this is a real striking part. They say the male fly will approach the female and ever so slightly tap her leg and see how she reacts. And if she doesn't react positively, that's pretty much the end of it. That's already, he's getting a sense of, can he have consent? Can we continue? Can we court or interact and mate? It's not as simple as he just goes up and starts having sex with her. And they say from the studies, 56% of the time the males are declined. That's a pretty big deal, and it gets even worse. In the Amazon red-necked turtles, the male places his nostrils on the female and attempts to bite. 86% of the time they are rejected, and only 4% try again. That is a huge black pill. We're talking about species many of us assume are less sophisticated. They're just going at it having sex. No, it's far and above what most people believe. With chimpanzees, and this is an interesting point going back to the concept of aggression or being an alpha male, they say the females comply not because they like the aggression, but essentially because they're being coerced by the aggression. So this is kind of fascinating when you think of the criminal game, the Jeremy Meeks pill, all that sort of thing. There are even instances in some species where the male does in fact pursue the female, which she doesn't actually like him, and they've been able to glean a sense that they have trauma, they end up with serious issues, almost like a rape victim. Now, all you guys can claim that I'm simping for animals now, whatever. The point is, when you go and you investigate this stuff, it's a lot more complicated than whatever you're going to pick up from some alpha bro Chad man, suppository red pill. Curiosity is so important. They say curiosity killed the cat, but curiosity for a human being can actually save your life because it avoids you going around with a mentality and perhaps even translating that into actions that could get you in trouble or even get you put in prison or killed. With I think it's called the vervet monkey, you have to challenge the leader, but you do it with diplomatic aggression. If you try to do physical aggression, they say the females will actually deny you access to the group. So, and this is just a little bit, right? This is just, tidbits here and there. There's a lot more research still going on. So we need to be mindful. It can be easy to try to break everything down to this simplistic, male versus female, feminist versus manospherian. But when you go beyond the talking points, you find out that there's a lot more nuance, that societies are complicated, and certainly animals are not as simplistic. So I can understand why Cernovich, especially over time, he's deleted that quote. Don't just assume because someone you follow on the internet says something that that's the sainted truth and there's nothing more to it. Investigate. Whatever it is, whatever the subject is, go deeper, and that's going to expand your mind, and like I said, it could end up protecting your own life.